Hey everybody, Jason Collings here. This is a brand new feature on my YouTube channel, Mr. Jason Collings or Comedian Jason Collings, where I discuss everything stand-up. Stand-up comedy is my first love. This is who I am. This is what I do. A lot of people get into stand-up to get to the next thing or get to something else. A lot of people start doing stand-up comedy because they think it's going to help them book an acting gigs. A lot of people get into stand-up comedy because they think it's going to help. It probably does help with auditions, help with, their improv stuff, whatever. Me, I'm a stand-up comic through and through. Yes, I will do some acting, and yes, I can do some acting. But here, I'm going to discuss everything comedy. If you guys have any questions for me, a lot of frequently asked questions I'll discuss on here. A lot of times I'm going to come on here and just talk about the show that I did the night before, or the show that I got going the night of whenever I'm taping this. So this is my latest feature on my YouTube channel called I Do Comedy, or I Do Stand-Up. I knew I was going to fuck that up, but whatever. I'm not a genius. I'm a stand-up comic. I want to talk about a show I did last night. I did a show last night. It was interesting because it was put on by these two guys. It's a really fun show. It was in Van Nuys at a venue called Flashback. And I didn't know this. I've been in stand-up now for 20 years, so there's a lot going on that I don't know about. There's all kinds of different little worlds out there in stand-up comedy, and just in LA. I'm not even talking about the country and the world. Just in Los Angeles, there's all kinds of different places. I show up to this place last night because these kids I met these two guys at a show that I did with my buddy John Campanelli. John Campanelli has a show that he puts on at the Improv a couple times a month, and he's got some pretty cool, funny, young, up-and-coming comics that he puts on, and he helps out. These two guys happened to be at a show that I was on, and they asked me to do their show. They had a show in LA. It was at a place called Hotel Cafe, and I did that show, and it was a lot of fun. They just recently hit me up to do this one in the Valley in Van Nuys at Flashback. And when I walked in, a lot of people were surprised to see me there because of where I'm at in my stand-up. Like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? You know, I walked in and a young lady that I hadn't seen in years, which was so great to see her. She says, "Is that Jason Collings?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." And they had this bewilderment almost, like, what am I doing here? Apparently this venue hosts a lot of bringer shows. If you don't know what that is, a bringer show is you get stage time if you get people to come buy tickets to the show. A lot of us did it in the beginning, a lot of new comics doing it, and it's a good way to get stage time. And if you have a supportive group of friends and people that you've met that like to see your stand-up, these are the kind of shows that you're going to do in the beginning. But what they do is they do a bringer show, but then they have a guest headliner, and I was the guest headliner last night. And I'm going to tell you, this was one of the funnest shows I've done in a while. The venue was really small, and I'm a firm believer that stand-up is best intimate. In an intimate venue, give me 60 people in the audience, give me 50 people in the audience, I'm going to have a blast. And the show was that. They were really so nice to me. The show's called We're All Gonna Make It, which I love that title. We're all gonna make it. It means in their tagline is something like, where every comic that you see eventually becomes a big comic. Whatever. I fucked that up too. I butchered it. But my point in bringing this show up is that I did the show. People were surprised that I was there, and I had a blast. And guess what? I'm going to do it again because I'm what you call a whore for stage time. I love stage time. I've had so many of my peers, "Why are you doing that show?" I'm not talking about this show specifically that I did last night. I'm like, I will put up a poster, a flyer that somebody made for a show that they asked me to do. And if I'm free, I'm doing it. If it's local and I'm free, I'm doing it. I'm going to do the show because this is the only way I get better at comedy. The only way to get good at anything is repetition, just doing it over and over and over again. So I said yes to the show. I got there, and it was pleasantly surprising. The audience was extremely supportive. The other comics were fucking great. No one had a bad set. I didn't see a bad set the whole time I was there. I didn't stay for the whole thing. I ended up meeting my brother at the Hollywood Improv that night. But it was perfect. It was perfect for comedy. Small room, low ceiling, Everything's black except the spotlight on you on the stage. It's got a cool looking backdrop on the stage. If I wanted to tape something there, I could have. I think they did tape my set, which is great. So you guys will end up seeing some clips from that set, because I do believe they definitely taped it, and they're going to send me a copy of that. But yeah, man, I'll do it. If you aren't requiring me, because I've had people hit me up, go, hey, you want to do my show on this certain date, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll come through. And then all of a sudden they send me another message with, well, we'd appreciate it if you got at least 7 people to come out and make sure that you post it on all your, like, no. You asked me to do your show. I'm going to do my job. You do your job and promote it. That's another thing. These guys didn't pressure me to post it on everything. They did their job, which is promoting a show and producing a show. And I did my job, which is showing up and doing a stand-up set. That's another thing I want to talk about. A lot of these producers, they're lazy. They're asking and requiring of their acts to do their promotional work, which I think is kind of lazy. My thing is, if I'm going to put on a show, I'm going to make sure I got the budget to promote it. I got the budget to pay my comics, and I'm not, hiring comedians to come do other things that they're not. So, like, a lot of this shit changed. I understand that. And I hope I'm not, I know I'm rambling, but fuck it. That's what this thing is for. I'm just going to talk to you guys. A lot has changed since the pandemic. A lot of people want you to do all the legwork for you. So when I first got into stand-up, I thought, okay, my job is to write an act, a quality act, and perform that act to perfection until I put it out somewhere, burn it on a television show, whatever it was, and then build a new act. That was my job as a stand-up comedian. Now my job as a stand-up comedian, I have to be a social media influencer. I have to be a video editor. I have to be a promoter. I have to be my own agent. I have to be my own manager, because I'm sorry, agents and managers, if you're listening, made up fucking job. You guys are just being lazy. You're signing people that don't need they don't need you. You're only signing people that are already successful, that are already getting the numbers, which I get, makes your job easier. However, the days of developing new talent seems to be over as far as the industry side of it goes. We are now developing ourselves. And the beautiful thing about YouTube, these fucking phones and these cameras, is that we can do everything ourselves. If you had 4 high quality iPhones, you could shoot amazing special. You could shoot a great special. Switch it to 4K. I know I'm sounding old. Switch it down to 4K. Like there's a switch. Hold on, let me switch it to 4K. Set it up. 2 on either side of the stage. Hero shot. Somebody wandering around. You got a special. Yeah, special. The thing that I just put out on this channel, the little miniature special that I put out called Nothing Special, that was just a 15-minute set from the main room at the Comedy Store. The Comedy Store has a 2-camera setup, high 4K cameras, whatever the fuck they are. It looks amazing. They have the setup. I do my I do my job. They send me the tape. I put it in my editing software, and I built a little 15-minute special, and I put it out there for you guys to see. By the way, it's on my page here. Check it out. Page or channel. I don't know what we call these things anymore. It's here. It's called Nothing Special, because it isn't. It's a 15-minute set from the Comedy Store. And if it is, I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide whether it's special or not. But please check it out. Those of you who have already watched it, I haven't had a single negative comment, which is great, because I'm usually getting those. Like, what are your one of the funniest comments I recently got, I was doing a bit and somebody was angry at the thing I was talking about because they weren't listening to the actual joke. They were just listening to the words that they considered hurtful. So one of the comments, a lot of them make me laugh, but this one got me. It said, "The funniest things are his tiny legs." Thank you. Made me laugh. Love it. I was sitting on the stool. My legs looked really tiny, and I appreciate the comment, letting me know, reminding me, keeping my insecurities up. But yeah, last night, the show was great. I think they do it weekly. It's Friday nights. It's in the Valley. It's in Van Nuys. The venue is called Flashback. It's a great place to go see comedy. If you're just wanting to go be an observer and watch comedy, that's what we're here for. It's a great room. It's also a great room for up and comers that are wanting to get that stage time. And all they require is you bring some friends out, get some people to buy some tickets, and you're on the show. Other than that, thank you for hanging out with me. I'm going to keep doing these. It's called I Do Stand Up.